What if the grieving widow of a conservative powerhouse wasn't mourning at all, but scheming her way to the White House? Joe Rogan just blew the lid off a plot so twisted it could rewrite American politics. Stay tuned. This is the story that has Washington trembling. Before we dive into the explosive allegations, let's rewind on Erika Kirk. Born Erika Francevay on November 20th, 1988 in Scottsdale, Arizona, she rose to fame as Miss Arizona in 2012. An early Trump supporter, she attended his 2015 rallies and studied political science. She married conservative activist Charlie Kirk in 2021, founding Turning Point USA together. They welcomed a son in 2023. But tragedy struck on September 11, 2025, when Charlie was assassinated at a Utah event by suspect Tyler Robinson, sparking conspiracy theories from anti-Semitic claims blaming Israel, debunked by the SPLC, to false AI-generated rumors about his autopsy, clarified by CBS News. Amid grief, Erika became TPUSA's CEO on September 19, 2025, vowing to carry his mission. Yet, controversies swirl. Baseless claims of her charity Everyday Heroes Like You, tied to child trafficking in Romania, fact-checked false by WRAL. A viral conspiracy about a secret ex-husband, debunked by Times of India, and even transvestigation theories from the far right, reported by them.us. Rivalries include clashes with Candace Owens, who alluded to secrets about Charlie's death in November 2025 posts, and podcaster Jennifer Welch criticizing Erika's views on women. No upcoming events confirmed, but her podcast and TPUSA activities continue amid scrutiny. It started with a single sentence. Joe Rogan slipped into his podcast. A sentence so unexpected, so bold, and so dangerously specific that the entire internet froze mid-scroll. With a straight face and a tone that sent shivers through the studio, Joe leaned into the mic and said, "I think Erika Kirk has been planning something a lot darker than people realize, and it involves the White House." Within seconds, the clip exploded across social media. Viewers began dissecting every word, every pause, every glance. Because Joe wasn't joking. He wasn't speculating, and he definitely wasn't rambling. He claimed he had receipts, insider conversations, political whispers, leaked messages pointing to an agenda so outrageous it almost sounded fictional. Almost. Because according to Joe, Erika wasn't interested in redemption, grief, charity, or rebuilding her public image. She wanted power, real power. The kind of power that comes from strategic alliances, emotional manipulation, and inserting herself into the life of the one man she believed could propel her into political royalty. Joe claimed Erika wasn't chasing sympathy. She was chasing a title. She wants to be First Lady, he said. Not joking, not exaggerating, dead serious. And the moment he said it, the internet erupted. People began pulling up old interviews, resurfacing photos, analyzing her behavior at political events. Suddenly, small moments that once looked innocent now appeared calculated. Friendly smiles seemed strategic. Emotional speeches felt rehearsed. Her proximity to certain politicians, especially one rising figure connected to the biggest conservative movement, looked less accidental and more intentional. But Joe didn't stop there. He hinted that Erika wasn't working alone. Someone powerful was backing her, someone with everything to gain. And then Joe dropped the bomb. If the public saw what I saw, they'd understand her plan started long before Charlie died. And that is where the real story begins. Long before Joe Rogan said a single word on his podcast, long before the internet started stitching together photos and clips of Erika Kirk like a political detective board. Long before anyone realized this wasn't grief or confusion or emotional instability, there were whispers, quiet ones, the kind of whispers that only circulate in private donor dinners, behind green room curtains, and inside the homes of people who walk through Washington with secrets instead of shadows. And every one of those whispers pointed to the same unsettling possibility. Erika Kirk wasn't drifting. She was positioning herself. To the public, Erika appeared broken, the widow-in-law navigating a tragedy connected to one of the most vocal conservative figures in the country. She cried at events. She spoke softly. She carried a Bible in her bag. She smiled with trembling eyes. People assumed she was healing, but insiders noticed something else, something darker, something strangely precise. No matter where she went, Erika attached herself to influence. She never stood near minor figures. She didn't mingle with irrelevant guests. She wasn't drawn to emotional comfort or old friends. She gravitated toward ambition. Senators' wives, key donors, political strategists, presidential advisors, and most notably, men who were being discussed as future White House material. That's when people started paying attention, not because of anything Erika said, but because of the way she watched. Observers described it the same way. She studies people like pieces on a chessboard. She listens like she's collecting psychological data. She remembers everything. She wants something, but nobody dared say out loud what they really suspected. Not until Joe Rogan did. Because Joe wasn't operating off speculation. He had sources, unfiltered ones, uncensored ones. According to Joe's insiders, Erika's shift into political proximity didn't begin after Charlie died, it began before. This story starts nearly a year earlier, when Charlie began distancing himself from certain TPUSA internal decisions. His closest friends noticed he was uneasy, constantly on the phone, avoiding certain meetings, and no longer trusting a few core members. People assumed it was exhaustion, burnout, or standard conservative infighting. But privately, Charlie confided in only two people, a longtime friend and Erika. He told her things he never recorded, never emailed, never wrote down, things he regretted getting involved in, things he wished he could step away from. And Erika, grieving or not, took every word in. But then something strange happened. Charlie began pulling Erika away from politics, begging her to stay home, urging her to avoid meetings, insisting she cut ties with several influential figures. He claimed they were manipulating her, using her, pushing her into conversations she wasn't prepared for. Insiders say he told her several times, "You don't understand what they want from you." But Erika didn't listen. And according to Joe, that's because the people Charlie was warning her about were the same people Erika felt drawn to. Powerful figures with access to national platforms, potential running mates, future presidential hopefuls. One in particular, a rising political star, a man whose name had been whispered as VP material, someone who publicly praised Charlie, yet privately clashed with him. Erika saw him at events constantly, their paths crossing more frequently than coincidence should allow. Photographers caught them speaking, staffers whispered about their private conversations, and every time Erika appeared near him, she carried a notebook, the same notebook she used to journal. Though insiders claim she used it to write down strategic talking points, Charlie hated this man. Erika admired him. That contrast wasn't small, it was seismic. Because 3 months before Charlie's final trip, he reportedly had a massive argument with Erika, one so heated that neighbors heard shouting. Charlie accused her of being naive, of being manipulated, of letting powerful men shape her into something she wasn't. Erika snapped back, "You don't see the bigger picture. You never did." Those were some of her last words to him before his passing. After Charlie died, everything changed. Erika didn't disappear from the public eye, she appeared everywhere. Fundraisers, prayer breakfasts, women's conferences, political galas, and at each event she edged closer to the people Charlie tried to warn her about. The same political figure, the same future power circle, the same whispered influence pipeline. People began describing Erika differently, not grieving, not lost, calculated. She began dressing more formally, speaking more assertively, aligning herself with topics that gained national traction, and stepping into conversations about leadership, legacy, and the future of America's families. It was subtle at first, then bold, and then unmistakable. The shift became unavoidable the night Erika appeared at a closed-door political retreat, seated next to the senator whose name repeatedly appears in White House prediction lists, a senator Joe Rogan referenced directly when he said Erika's plan lines up perfectly with someone else's future campaign.
According to Joe, the connection wasn't political, it was strategic. Erika wasn't playing defense after Charlie's death. She was building something, positioning herself, rebranding her tragedy into opportunity, leveraging access to influence circles most widows never enter. Joe claimed Erika began telling certain confidants something deeply unsettling. Charlie always believed I could be more than just someone's wife. But the rumor that set Washington on fire came from a staffer who once overheard Erika whisper to a mentor, "People underestimate how far I'm willing to go." When this quote resurfaced, Joe Rogan connected it to a leaked screenshot from a private conversation, one showing Erika discussing long-term positioning, image rehabilitation, and post-2028 planning. Grassroots activists brushed it off, but high-level insiders panicked because the wording, the timing, the context all pointed to one chilling possibility. Erika Kirk wasn't drifting toward political influence, she was pursuing it, and not as a supporter, not as a strategist, not as a widow reclaiming her voice, as something far more ambitious, a future political spouse, someone who could one day stand beside a presidential candidate, someone whose image could be molded into First Lady material, someone whose proximity to a rising star was no accident. Joe Rogan summed it up with a single devastating line. People think Erika's grieving, but grief doesn't demand power, strategy does. And according to him, that strategy had an architect backing her, someone who stood to benefit from grooming Erika into a role Charlie never wanted her near. And that architect, Joe claims he knows exactly who it is, and he's prepared to name them. The moment Joe Rogan hinted that he knew the architect behind Erika Kirk's alleged First Lady ambitions, the internet convulsed. The political world froze. Commentators began refreshing their feeds like addicts waiting for the next hit. Because Joe wasn't teasing, he was preparing the public for a revelation that sent shockwaves through conservative circles, long before he ever turned on a microphone. Erika, meanwhile, remained eerily silent. Her team insisted she was grieving privately, but insiders whispered that she was working non-stop behind the scenes, rebranding her image, positioning herself strategically, attending off-camera gatherings with people who normally wouldn't take her calls. Everything pointed to movement, not emotional collapse, but forward momentum, and that was what terrified Washington. What nobody expected, however, was how quickly Joe's claims would trigger retaliation, because the moment Joe Rogan suggested Erika had been groomed into a political role, someone else stepped forward, someone with a much darker story to tell. At exactly 2:37 p.m., an anonymous message was sent to multiple journalists. Joe is only telling half the story. Ask Erika about the mirror meetings. Ask her why Charlie tried to stop them. Within minutes, mirror meetings became the top trending term online. Nobody knew what it meant, but the fear around it was unmistakable. People speculated wildly: secret political training, private power rehearsals, emotional manipulation sessions, something cult-like. The theories grew darker, stranger, more chilling. Reporters called Joe Rogan's team asking for comment. Joe refused, but on his next show, he smirked and said, "The mirror meetings? Yeah, I've heard of them." And just like that, he poured gasoline on a wildfire. Now everything was on the table, the origin of the mirror meetings. These meetings, according to insiders, began 6 months before Charlie's death. Erika allegedly attended private coaching sessions with a small circle of political image consultants, people known for building candidates, crafting spousal personas, and preparing future first ladies for life under national scrutiny. But these weren't typical PR sessions. They were held at night, phones were banned, curtains were drawn, sessions lasted hours. And the strangest detail, Erika wasn't preparing for a charity position. She wasn't preparing for a speaking tour. She wasn't preparing to lead a foundation. She was reportedly preparing for a role that didn't exist yet: America's future conservative First Lady. One whistleblower claimed Erika stood in front of full-length mirrors, practicing posture, hand movements, emotional expressions, smiling on cue, supportive spouse tones, camera-ready reactions, and public introductions like, "My husband and I believe." Joe Rogan's audience went wild. This wasn't ambition, this was preparation. And Charlie, he hated it. According to a leaked text from one of Charlie's close friends, he begged Erika to stop those meetings. He thought they were dangerous. He said she was changing. Changing how? Nobody knew until the first bombshell hit, the leaked recording. Just after midnight, a 14-second audio clip was anonymously posted online. It spread like wildfire before it was deleted, but not before millions heard it. It was Erika's voice, calm, cold, focused in a way she had never sounded before. "First Lady isn't a dream, it's a blueprint, and I will not miss an opportunity again." 14 seconds and the world lost its mind. Commentators screamed betrayal, critics accused her of manipulating grief, supporters were stunned silent. But the clip wasn't the twist. The twist came when someone leaked who she said it to. The audio wasn't from a mirror meeting, it wasn't to a friend, it wasn't to a political consultant. It was said to a sitting senator, and not just any senator, a senator whose name had appeared on early lists for a 2028 presidential run. A Senator Joe Rogan had hinted about repeatedly on his podcast. A Senator Charlie reportedly didn't trust. A Senator Erika had been seen near far too often. JD Vance. The internet exploded. Even though the clip didn't confirm the timing or context, people filled in the gaps instantly. Videos circulated, Erika standing too close to JD at events, Erika adjusting his tie backstage, Erika whispering in his ear, JD touching her shoulder during private conversations, Usha glaring at Erika during a press photo. People began pointing to every interaction they'd ever seen between them. Suddenly, Erika's proximity didn't look accidental, it looked purposeful, strategic, designed. And the theory Joe floated that someone was grooming her to become First Lady no longer felt like a reach, it felt real. But then came the real twist. While people debated whether Erika wanted JD or JD wanted Erika or Erika wanted JD's position, a far bigger revelation dropped. A second source came forward with information that blew everything open. This source wasn't a journalist, not a consultant, not a staffer. It was someone from Charlie Kirk's inner circle, someone who worked directly with him during his final year alive. They sent reporters a document, a single page, Charlie's handwritten notes, and at the top, circled 3 times, were the words, "They want Erika in a position of power." Underneath were bullet points, short, panicked, urgent, meaning she doesn't understand. Influencers shaping her image, no transparency, she's being pushed toward him, dangerous. If people find out, not safe for her or for the movement. At the bottom, next to an asterisk, tell her to stop. Stop before she becomes part of it. The internet collapsed. People cried, people screamed, people demanded answers. Charlie tried to stop something. He tried to protect Erika. He feared someone was pushing her. But pushing her toward what? Power? A role she wasn't aware of? A political marriage? Or something darker? And most importantly, who were they? Joe Rogan didn't mince words. He said it wasn't JD alone, it wasn't Erika alone, it wasn't personal, it was a coordinated move. But then Joe said something that sent chills everywhere. Charlie wasn't afraid of Erika's ambition, he was afraid of who was feeding it. And that's when the story exploded again, because the real twist, Erika wasn't the mastermind, she wasn't the architect, she wasn't even in control. Someone else had been grooming her, guiding her, positioning her. Someone with political reach, someone with campaign ties, someone with presidential aspirations of their own. And Charlie Kirk had discovered the truth before anyone else. He tried to stop them, but according to Joe Rogan, Charlie died before he could expose the real person pulling the strings. That person? Joe claims he knows their identity, and he's preparing to reveal it next. The moment Charlie's handwritten notes leaked, the political universe shook like a fault line snapping under pressure. It wasn't the scribbled warnings themselves that terrified people. It was the fact that Charlie, a man with unmatched influence and deep access to conservative power structures, had been afraid, truly afraid. Afraid of someone close, afraid of someone powerful, afraid of someone trying to use Erika for a plan she didn't fully understand. And the public knew it. The air online felt electrified. Every influencer, every political commentator, every anonymous source on Twitter was throwing theories into the wind. But the tone changed the moment Joe Rogan said the one sentence nobody was prepared for. Charlie didn't die with that secret. He passed it to someone, and that person is finally talking. The internet froze, then erupted, because everyone knew exactly who Joe meant: Erika. And suddenly, the mirror meetings, the recordings, the coaching, the mysterious donors, all of it took on a new, entirely shape. But the real twist was still coming, and it hinged on one question. Who was the architect? Who was grooming Erika? Who had a first lady plan before Charlie died? Everyone speculated, everyone guessed, everyone accused, but no one expected the revelation that followed.
The escalation began when a news source, anonymous, encrypted, clearly terrified, contacted several journalists with a single message: check the visitor logs. No explanation, no context, just those 4 words. By the next morning, an investigative reporter dropped the findings. Erika Kirk had visited a private political consulting firm 6 times during the 6 months before Charlie died. Not for charity, not for speaking coaching, not for grief counseling, for image engineering and political grooming. The firm specialized in elevating public figures into political spouses, the kind of people who could stand beside presidential candidates and help win elections. Their client list was confidential, their methods controversial, their influence undeniable. And the most explosive detail wasn't Erika's visits, it was the signature on the approval request. Someone had authorized Erika's entry every time. Not Charlie, not Erika, not JD. A third party, a hidden force, a major political influencer with presidential ambitions of their own. But the identity was redacted, blocked out so heavily it looked like someone burned the page with ink. The internet exploded again. Who signed it? Who groomed Erika? Who wanted her prepared before Charlie's death? Then Joe Rogan returned to his podcast. This time he didn't smirk, he didn't tease, he didn't joke. His tone was dark, dead serious. The person who funded those meetings is the same person Charlie feared, and that person is still active in conservative politics today. The internet lit up. Now this wasn't speculation, this was accusation, and the pressure tightened everywhere. JD's team panicked. Usha reportedly shut down all travel. Donors started withdrawing commitments. Major strategists whispered that a political collapse was coming if the truth dropped. But Erika spiraled. Her phone buzzed non-stop. Reporters camped outside her house. Her assistant said she couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't breathe without shaking. Because Erika wasn't just remembering Charlie's warning, she was finally beginning to understand it. She remembered the night Charlie confronted her, the night he begged her to stop attending certain meetings. She remembered how he described someone using her, shaping her, twisting her into something she wasn't meant to be. Back then, she thought Charlie was being dramatic, overprotective, exhausted. Now she realized he had been terrified, not for himself, but for her. And then it happened. At 11:58 p.m., an unknown account leaked a partial mirror meeting transcript. Only 3 lines survived before the rest was corrupted. Line 1, your partnership must look natural. Line 2, public sympathy is temporary, influence is long-term. Line 3, when the senator rises, you rise with him. The last line set the world on fire. It wasn't subtle, it wasn't innocent, it wasn't ambiguous. It pointed directly to a senator, and only one name fit the timeline, the proximity, the scandal, and the mirror meetings: JD Vance.
Suddenly, the narrative shifted violently. Theories flooded TikTok and Twitter. Erika was being groomed to be JD's political spouse. Someone wanted to replace Usha with Erika. This was a planned power move. This wasn't an affair, it was an agenda. Charlie found out and tried to stop it. And then a new fear spread. If Erika was supposed to be JD's future first lady, who was orchestrating that plan? JD, Erika, or someone above them both? Joe Rogan poured gasoline on the fire with his next statement. JD wasn't the mastermind, he was another pawn. The world went silent. A senator reduced to a pawn. If JD wasn't controlling the plan, then who was? A mega donor? A political strategist? A billionaire? A kingmaker? A presidential hopeful? Everything turned chaotic.
News outlets released emergency panels, political groups demanded investigations, commentators screamed over each other live on air. But the shockwave didn't end there, because one journalist, the same one who found the visitor logs, uncovered something far worse. During Charlie's final month alive, his emails showed he was preparing a massive expose. An expose about corruption, manipulation, and political grooming inside conservative leadership. And one of the files on his computer had a title that made Erika's blood run cold: Project First Lady. People speculated wildly. Was it a real project? Was Erika the target? Was JD part of it? Was it a plan to build a new political dynasty? Or was it meant to destroy someone? Joe Rogan said Charlie was going to expose the person who created Project First Lady, but he didn't get the chance. And then he leaned in toward his microphone, lowering his voice. Someone made sure he never would. The internet broke into chaos, conspiracy, fear, suspicion. Because Joe wasn't implying an accident, he wasn't implying coincidence, he was implying something darker. And that was when Erika finally cracked open. She called her assistant into her room, tears streaming, hands shaking uncontrollably. She whispered, "I know who it is. I know who Charlie meant. I know who's been behind all of this." Her assistant froze. "Who?" Erika swallowed hard, but before she could answer, her phone buzzed. A single text from the mastermind. "Don't say the name. You're not ready." Her assistant screamed. Erika dropped the phone because she had never typed the name, never said it out loud to anyone except Joe Rogan's source and Charlie, which meant only one thing. The mastermind was watching her in real time, listening, monitoring, controlling. And then the final twist hit. A photo attachment appeared. Not a leak, not a screenshot, not a mere meeting document. This time it was a picture of Erika's living room taken moments earlier from inside the house. Her assistant gasped. Erika fell backward. The mastermind wasn't just manipulating the scandal, they were inside her world, physically or digitally, with access to every word she said, every movement she made, every secret she held. And the countdown began. Midnight was approaching. The name was about to be revealed, and Erika realized something horrifying. Charlie didn't die because of what he knew. He died because of who he was about to expose, and Erika was next. But here's the thing. The second that name is spoken, none of us will ever look at this scandal the same way again. Who do you think it is? Drop your theories below, like if you're hooked, and subscribe for part 2, where the mask comes off and the truth explodes.